Welcome to Heritage Acres Homestead. I'm Chas. Here you'll find our family as we strive to live a life that pleases the Lord. We do our best to make the most out of what we've been given. So we'd like to invite you to come along and join us on our journey.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to Heritage Acres Homestead. I'm Chas, and we are just a very few short days away from Valentine's Day. And you may look at me like, so? And you may not do anything to celebrate. We don't do the traditional, like, spend a lot of money on gifts or flowers or things like that. That's just never been our thing. But we do celebrate because love is special and wonderful and should be celebrated. So I usually make a special meal for my husband. When the kids were little, oh, let me just tell you, when they were little, we would do something like I would make them a pizza or even buy them pizza, and I would let them watch a movie. And then for their dad and I would make a different meal, and they would be the servers. They would put on their best church clothes, and they would come and they would serve their dad and I. And it was just such sweet, sweet little memories I have of the kids and how they would be so excited, because then afterwards, because their dad usually went to bed pretty early, afterwards they would get their pizza and their dessert that we made, and we would watch the movie together after their dad and I had our little date at home. And it was so sweet. Of course, as they got older, we would go out sometimes or whatever, but it wasn't the big gift kind of traditions that some have. But now we have an even better reason to celebrate. Besides love for one another, we have my son-in-law who was born on Valentine's Day. And so we get a special birthday and Valentine's right there in a big combo. So today I was going to show y'all how I make the cinnamon rolls that I make for most everybody wants them on their birthday. They're a very easy dough. They're not sourdough. They're just a quick dough. But we're going to shape them in hearts for Valentine's Day. And it's so cute. And why not? It takes a few extra minutes. Make them in hearts and make them pretty for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to show you how I did that. And I don't know if I have any pictures of when I've done it in the past for the kids, but if I can find them, I will add them to the video. I'm pretty sure I have pictures of the kids, how they dressed up to serve us on a couple of different occasions for our Valentine's meal. And they did it for our anniversary too. But sweet memories. Oh, so sweet. Anyways, so we're going to make those cinnamon rolls today. You'll get the recipe. They'll be in the description. A printable recipe will be in the description. And then I'll show you step by step in the video. And then I'll show you exactly how we're going to take it from rolling it normal, like a regular cinnamon roll, to rolling it in this way to make it look like a little heart. And so yeah, that's the plan today. I hope you stick around and watch how we do that, and then try it for yourself for your sweet Valentine's at home. So let's get busy. Okay, so I have in a little pot, I have 4 ounces of butter. I'm going to stir it around just slightly with this tablespoon measuring spoon. And I have a reason for that. I'm going to turn the eye off. I'm going to go ahead and add my 2/3 cup water, my 1 cup of milk, because we want all this to be warm, my teaspoon of salt, and now to this tablespoon that's got a little bit of butter in there, I'm going to pour in 3 tablespoons of honey. And because I have the butter in there, they will drop out pretty easy. So there's one. Two. And the last one. I'm going to stir that just slightly. I forgot to get a spoon. And make sure everything's warm. If it's too warm, I'll pull it off the eye and let it cool down. Oh no, that feels good. We want it just warm because we are going to add it to our flour and yeast. And if it's too warm, it'll kill the yeast. But if it's not warm enough, it won't activate the yeast. So we want it like a nice warm bath or just above. So now I'm going to grab the flour and the yeast. All right, so to this bowl, I'm going to add 2 cups of flour. Now I'm going to add my yeast. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of yeast. This is just a half tablespoon measuring spoon, so I'll add 4. All right, after adding the cold milk, it's went down too cold. So I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes to warm back up, and then we'll incorporate it into our flour. All right, so now our butter and milk and everything is warmed again. I hope I didn't get it too warm. I can stick my finger in there, so I don't think it's too warm. So we're gonna add that to our 2 cups of flour and our yeast. Begin to mix that together. Now, this is why I do it this way. Like the recipe will probably, depending on how I write it, it'll say like you use 4.5 to 5 cups total, and you might, but it changes. It is like, I think it just depends upon the atmosphere, the humidity in the room. It can be anywhere from usually about 4 cups to 5 cups. So being that I have 2 in there, I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 more. And then that last cup, I'm gonna hold off on until I get a feel for the dough. And then we'll add a little at a time as we need. Surprise, surprise. I get dirty so easy when I cook. Oh, I'm so messy. All right, see, I can tell already we're gonna need that extra, probably that extra cup. I'll do a half though, because this is still very wet. Let me pull you up and let you see. Hang on. Okay. Bear with me. All right, there we go. So that's a little less than half a cup. Let's go ahead and add that to it. And once it gets to a point where the spatula is not going to do it anymore, I'll just use my hands. And that way I can get a better feel. Okay. So I'm going to put out a little bit of flour on my bench here. Trying to get every bit of that out. Dust this with flour. Begin pulling it together. As I'm feeling it, I can see that it is going to need that a bit more. But once it starts pulling together without sticking, then we know we're about at that sweet spot. And this is just something you learn by feeling. That's the best thing I can tell you, is don't be afraid to just get in there and try and learn by feel. Want it to get to where it's nice and smooth, but because this is such a quick dough, it's not going to take like tons and tons of kneading. Now, I'm going to take my bowl. I'm just going to turn it over. And I'm going to let that rest for a good 10 minutes or so before we come back and start shaping the dough. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and do this first. I have about 1/3 cup of sugar here. I'm going to add, now this all depends on you. I'm going to add probably a tablespoon, maybe half a tablespoon of cinnamon. If you like it more cinnamony, add more. Less, add less. Now I'm going to mix that up for our filling. I'm going to say it needs more. So I'm going to go with my gut and say that was about a tablespoon that I use. I like it to be good and cinnamony. So to that 1/3 or 1/2 cup sugar, I use a tablespoon of cinnamon. Set that out of the way. Now we're going to pull up our dough. Oh, yes, it's definitely improved. It's doubled in size easily. I'm going to put down a little flour because we're going to roll this out. A little on top here and dust my rolling pin. And then I'm going to gently roll this out to where we can get a nice rectangle. Of course, it doesn't have to be perfect. The more shapely you get it, the more uniform your rolls are going to be. But if that panics you, then do not worry. It does not have to be perfect. And these are going to be delicious, even if you have some bigger than the others. I'm going to call that pretty good. It's definitely not a perfect rectangle. It's kind of got rounded edges, but it's okay. All right. Next is softened butter. I just use my hands with this. Take some butter. And the dough is still a little bit warm too. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to basically rub it like lotion all over the dough. This dough is really soft. I hope it holds up and makes pretty rolls for you. Because it's going to be tasty either way. But of course we want it to look good because it's video. All right, from edge to edge, it's nice and buttered. All right, now for our cinnamon and sugar mixture. I just take a spoon and I gently sprinkle all over the surface of the dough.
Now, I am going to come and move the video camera so you can see how I'm going to roll this. Okay, so now if I were doing this just for regular everyday cinnamon rolls, you can roll it up on one big log and then cut. But this is what I normally do, and I found that it just makes a nicer roll. So I'm going to show you one that's just a regular roll. And it's going to be one of these edges, okay? So I'm taking a pizza cutter. Just going to roll that, cut it top to bottom. And then I'm going to begin rolling the cinnamon roll up. And it makes really, really nice, smooth roll. Okay, so now for our Valentine's hearts, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut another strip. Okay. And then I'm going to roll to about midways. Then I'm going to come over here and roll to about midways. Right, and then I'm going to lay it sideways and I'm going to pull a point. Oh, Flitter, you can't see that. Hang on, let me fix you. All right. Do you see the heart? Making sure that you're in the view. All right, cutting the dough. Gonna roll one side up to the midways. I'm gonna roll the other side up to the midways. Then I'm gonna lay it on its side. And this middle, I'm gonna pinch to make a V so it looks like a heart. And I'm gonna put that on our pan. So here's the rose. So I roll it up kind of the same way, but then I begin to turn it outward about midways through. So that cinnamon is up. And then I tuck that tail under. And there's a rose. Do it again. Rolling it up nice and snug to begin with, about halfway through, then turning it on its side and rolling it the rest of the way up. I gotta figure out where to tuck these into the pan here. I don't want to get out another pan because I've only got 2 left. Probably just do this one regular. So it'll fit there. This one's a little wide, so I guess I'll do it the same. It'll be tall, but not as many rounds. You can also come and pull the dough to make it look like it's floured too. All right, so now
I'm just going to let these rise for about 10 minutes while my oven heats and I clean up. All right, I just wanted to tell you, never fails, I get filthy. I'm telling you, I'm terrible. Just wanted to tell you, if you want to make these and other variations, you can use the same recipe for the dough, and then you could do like a strawberry filling. That would be beautiful for Valentine's Day. You could do, like you would want it kind of be jammy, so maybe just use some jam as the middle. You could do like a strawberry icing on the top, you know, or glaze, because that's going to give it a little bit of color and pink without having to go the food dye route. I'm probably just going to do the shape and do a regular icing for ours, just because that's the way we really love these cinnamon rolls. So while they're cooking, I'm gonna go in here. Actually, they're still rising. They're almost ready to go in the oven. The oven is preheating. That little noise that I heard a minute ago says that it made it to temp. So I'm gonna get those into the oven and bake those off, and then you'll see, I mean, these are start to finish pretty quick. You could have them done in an hour or so. And probably less. It's taking longer for me because I'm trying to talk and teach. So, but yeah, this is, it's a great little, like I said, we use it for almost every birthday. Everybody wants cinnamon rolls, for either their breakfast or dessert or something. And then, for, you know, holidays, it makes a special treat too. So, and you know, there's a lot of shapes that can be made, not just hearts. And also, let me tell you this too, one more thing before I get these in the oven. If you just do not want to make your own cinnamon rolls and you're just watching this for the fun of it, there are, I believe, some decent pre-made cinnamon rolls out there. And what you would do is you would just unroll them and roll them back in the shape you want, and you could still do the hearts. If you just did not want to do the process of making your own, you could do that, and it still, that way you get the heart shape for Valentine's or whatever, and you didn't have to go make them yourself. So there's an idea, just in case you want it. I'm suggesting you make them because they're super easy and delicious. But if you can't, don't have time, don't want to, there's an idea. There, like I said, there are some with better ingredients than there was when my kids were little. I will tell you, when my kids were little, we did have the pre-made cinnamon rolls, and I shaped them in hearts. But, you know, that was before I knew how to do things myself, and before I was really aware of the, you know, horrific ingredients in a lot of things. So I've said it many times, everybody's on their own journey. So you do what you feel like you can or want to do, and just enjoy the fun of the little treat you're gonna make for your family. Okay, so I'm gonna pinch these V parts just a little bit more, because these at the bottom have gotten a little slack, but these at the top still look pretty good. But there we go. Let's get these in the oven. Now, many of you said last week you wanted to see more about my chickens. And so here is, this one's eyeball sunk into its head. Let me fix it. So here are just a few of my squishy chickens. I used different yarns. Here's just a gray, because I wanted them to look like my lavenders, which are my favorite chickens. And then I saw this yarn at a local store and was just crazy about it. And I said, I'm going to make a chicken out of that yarn. And that's what I did. And they turned out so well that I went back and got some of the other colors, yellow. Hang on just a second. Excuse me for getting so close. There's a pink. Excuse me again. This is a green. And then I think there's a purple in here too. This yarn is fuzzy and it'll catch on everything, but there's a purple that Carly is picking me up some more yarn today so I can finish the purple I started. But let me show you how pretty it is. Isn't that beautiful? I think I love it, which I'm really loving purple lately, but those yellow roses in there, oh, love it. That's going to be really cute. So that in there. But I worked and I worked and I worked until I feel like I wrote a decent how to make one of these chickens, and I made an ebook. I did not know if I was going to figure that out at all, but because it is, y'all, like technology is far past what I know how to do. Like, I can upload a video, I can cut some of the rough parts out, I can do some things, but the technological side of it is so hard. But I did it. I figured out how to make an ebook, and I have it in my description if you're interested in making one for yourself. I call them the squishy chicken, and it's just a few dollars. It's in my shop. Like I said, the link will be in the description, and it's just there. I try to give most of my stuff out for free, but I did make this pattern because it took a lot of work. I did ask a few dollars for it, but they're a lot of fun, and I've had so much fun with these. I ended up taking one as a gift on our women's retreat last weekend, and I had not given any out besides to Cameo. I had her take one home with the boys, but I had had several people ask about getting one, and it was the first one that kind of got out, and it was a hoot. It was a hoot. It was it ended up being in our pictures, our group pictures at the end. I'll post a picture here for you, but we just had a great time, and was just an encouragement from the Lord and for each other and our church and just our community, and to just spread the love of Jesus as far and wide as we can. And what a beautiful thing I can do right here from this platform. You know, I can tell you just how much I love the Lord and how much I want to make him known. And what a blessing. What a blessing. I hope to always leave you with some scripture, or just an encouragement, or just a pointing you to the Lord. So like I said, the links for the ebook will be in the description. I'm considering, I also made this over this week, this little Highland cow, and I'm putting him, possibly going to put him in the shop to sell as well, because it gives me opportunities to make of the evenings or during the day when I'm not super busy, and you know, others can enjoy that too. So he may go in the shop, just check and see. But I'm going to update my shop before this video posts, because I know I'm pretty much sold out of everything on there. My mugs, there's a couple left, and they are still on sale. And then I'll have my elderberry. I just made more of that today. I've got sourdough up and ready, and then the new ebook, and possibly maybe some chickens in there as well. So anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there in case you were one of the ones asking if I was going to make a pattern last week. The pattern is there and it's ready, and I hope you enjoy that.
Now on your icing, you can make it as complicated or as simple as you like. But what I do is I just pour out some powdered sugar, and I add a splash of vanilla, and then just enough cream to pull it together. You can sift the powdered sugar if you like to make it smoother. And you can make it as thick or thin as you want, just depending on how much of the cream or the milk you put in there. And then just ice your cinnamon roll. Happy Valentine's Day.
All right, y'all. So there it is, a sweet little Valentine's treat for your special loved ones. I hope that you will make these and enjoy them, and maybe they'll become like ours, a staple for birthdays or celebrations. And you will just have fond memories of making them with your family too. But I just wish you the best. May you have a wonderful week. God bless you. And happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.